Hey everyone, welcome back to 996. The Howl. The Coyotes don't play until February 8th, the home game against Vegas, so a lot of time to discuss other things, and we'll talk about the Tucson Roadrunners today, a bit of a mid-season report, and the next video will be the mid-season report for Arizona Coyote prospects around the world. Tucson Roadrunners, second place in the Pacific, just a couple points behind first place Coachella Firebirds. My previous video, the quarter season video report for the Tucson Roadrunners, they're 10-6-2, fourth place. But since then, they've been 15-7. They've been on a roll. Considering we've stolen a couple of key guys from the Roadrunners, they're 25-13-2. Very great record. I'm actually excited. I think the Tucson Roadrunners finally are at that point where, the Coyotes, they rebuilt for so long. Now we're starting to see the farm team be a consistent, good team and compete and contend for the playoffs pretty much consistently each season, because this isn't it. Just like I say about the Coyotes, their prospects, they're not all in Arizona yet. They're going to get a boatload of prospects next season, and it's just going to continue to stack and stack and stack, and just good things all about the Roadrunners. In terms of stats, goals for, it's above 3. That's always good. Goals against, 2.93. It's nearing 3, but considering, the goalie stats of their starter, Vialta, maybe that goals against stat is inflated from some bad games between the other two goalies, so that should go down. Power play, it's pretty bad, 16.1%. I know this team doesn't have so much firepower and sniping instincts when you look at the roster. A lot of hard-working guys on the Roadrunners team, so maybe they need some more talent next year just in terms of power play, but penalty killing, 82.7%. That's pretty good as well. The last 5 games, whenever I do these videos on the Roadrunners, it's never on a win streak. It's always like a seesaw battle with the Roadrunners. Win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. Overall, in the past 10 games are 6-4. So they kind of maybe are stalling a little bit from that meteoric rise from that quarter report video I did. When I say, the Coyotes have taken some key players, they took Kolyachonok away from the Roadrunners, a good defenseman, and he got injured immediately in his first game in his call-up, so he's out for this season. We stole Kesselring from them, and now he's a mainstay on the Coyotes for defense. We stole Gunther recently. He's played 11 games for the Coyotes in the NHL, getting 7 points in those 11 games. That's stealing their number one point getter in Dylan Gunther, so that must have hurt a lot. We also lost Sanford on waivers to Chicago. Sanford played a couple games for the Roadrunners, and he was pretty much going to be the guy going up and down, up and down. And then that turned into Kirkland, who kept going up and down, up and down. But thankfully, now that the Coyotes have claimed Ruzicka on waivers, they can keep Kirkland down with the Roadrunners. And look at Kirkland. I mean, he's almost a point per game for the Roadrunners. So even though he doesn't produce so much on the Coyotes, 16 points in 18 games, that's really good. He's pretty much the number 1 and 2 center for the Roadrunners and works really well with Josh Stone. So it's good that Kirkland's going to be down there for the Roadrunners and just help this team out a little bit. We'll get into the players. Like I mentioned, Dylan Gunther leads this team, 28 points in 29 games played. I guess we just hope those numbers stay the same and he never goes back to the Roadrunners. Obviously, for the playoffs, Dylan Gunther will drop back down and compete in the American League playoffs. The top 7 out of 10 teams in the division make it. Remember last year, it was pretty much embarrassing that the Roadrunners made the playoffs. They were the 7th seed in their division. They weren't playing really well, got into the first round and lost to Coachella Firebirds. So yeah, Gunther, he'll be back for the playoffs, but hopefully continues his pace in the NHL, having that big impact on the Coyotes that he never gets sent down before then. Maybe, I never hear about this, but maybe Cooley might get sent down for the Roadrunners playoff run too. I know it's going to be a lot of hockey for Cooley coming off, NCAA. They don't play much, and now he's going to have 82 games of NHL games under his belt now. It might be too much hockey, but I wonder if Bill Armstrong will send Cooley down and the Roadrunners just become a juggernaut for the playoffs. Josh Stone, Great to see that he's played every game this season for the Roadrunners. No injuries. There's been a lot of injuries surrounding the Roadrunners this season. Doan's got 16 goals, leads the team in goals, 11 assists, 27 points. He's tied for 15th in American League scoring. If he gets another goal, he'll jump to the top 10. So it's good that Doan's in that conversation. I feel like he's been a little bit quiet lately. I was seeing so many Josh Doan highlights from the Tucson Roadrunners Twitter probably, 3 weeks ago to over a month ago. It was like every night this guy was scoring. So maybe a bit quiet, but great to see him translate his game from ASU and the NCAA for the Roadrunners. He's a very important player for the Roadrunners. Rat 2, 23 points in 33 games. Great to see him get better from that quarter report video I made. Kellerman, 19 points in 27 games played. We don't see his offensive instincts with the Coyotes. Usually always a fourth line winger, meant to bring energy to the group. But on the Roadrunners, he's a different type of player. Still brings that hard work ethic, but he scores. He's much noticeable on the stat sheet when he's with the Roadrunners. Leonard, who wasn't on my quarter season report video because he had like less than 4 points in those 18 games, but he's been on a rise since then as well. 19 points in 39 games played. He's a veteran and an American Hockey League veteran. So great to see some veterans on this list helping the Roadrunners, give them depth scoring and carrying this team along with Poganski, who wasn't on my quarter report video either. He was a free agent signing. He's originally drafted from the St. Louis Blues, obviously connections to Bill Armstrong. He's 27 years old, so another American Hockey League veteran, just used to shore up the depth on the Roadrunners and help the young guys. He's got 18 points in 32 games played. Unique, 17 points, 27 games played. Would like to see more from Unique, more from Smith, and more from McCartney as well. Those are like Coyotes prospects that are kind of wavering. They're on thin ice in terms of the organization prospect pool, especially for McCartney. I think he wears the A on his chest for the Roadrunners. I just always expected more from him, even though he's a very late draft pick, I believe, in 2020. Pretty much the only draft pick from that year that has done anything. I know there weren't many draft picks, and it's disingenuous to say that was Bill Armstrong's first draft when we had the forfeit pick, another forfeit pick, the first pick we made that year in that 4th round. So wasn't really his first year, and he just got hired a couple weeks before. But McCartney, always wanted him to be more a bigger power forward, gobble up some points. He was always a point per game player whenever I was researching him. So maybe I'm a bit too biased, was concentrating too much on McCartney. Defense, Soderstrom, 21 points in 38 games played. He's leading this defensive core, which is why he got called up by the Coyotes for that terrible Southeast road trip. He only showed up in that Carolina game. For me, send Soderstrom down. Hopefully Dumba's healthy out of the All-Star break, and Soderstrom continues to lead this Roadrunners team. The only other defenseman that's noteworthy is Zuber. 18 points in 40 games played. His first season on North American ice. Seems to be doing well. Like I said, Kolyachonok got injured and we stole Kesselring from them. So that's 2 out of their top 4D that are not on the Roadrunners anymore due to the Coyotes. So that's unfortunate there. We go to goalies. Vialta. You got to realize the American Hockey League schedule is most of the time Friday and Saturday night. So they're back-to-back games. And Vialta's played 31 out of 40 games for the Roadrunners. That's a lot of hockey, not a lot of rest, but his numbers are outstanding. 20 wins, 10 losses, 1 overtime shootout loss, a .912 save percentage with a .261 goals against average. Then their backup is still Dylan Wells, and very unfortunately, I was looking at the wrong Dylan Wells at the quarter report video, and I went on Elite Prospects and I said he was retired. But I found the correct Dylan Wells. He is 26 years old, 6'2", 190 pounds. He played in the Ontario Hockey League Peterborough Petes for his junior career, and then he's just bounced around the ECHL, AHL for like 7 or 8 years, just continuously on a different team every season. And now he finds himself on the Roadrunners in a backup role, rarely plays, only 3, 2, and 1. But not too bad goalie numbers, but again, a small sample size. And then our goalie prospect, Anson Thornton, he was injured at the quarter report video, only playing 2 games. Now he's up to 3 games. I don't know if he's healthy or still nursing an injury. Last I checked, he hasn't played recently. Really bad numbers, but it seems like in one of those 3 games, he probably got shelled and lost badly. Really was excited for Thornton. Every time I see him in the rookie tournament games, he's been amazing, like outstanding. Just, I know he's dealing with injuries this season. Would have liked him to be the bona fide backup and play more games. But hopefully he becomes healthy soon, get some games down the stretch, gain some confidence, and give Villalta some rest for the playoffs. So that's it for the Roadrunners. Really excited for this team. Hopefully they continue it. It would be a classic for their last 32 games of the season to just nosedive and barely make the playoffs. But they're about 10 points up on 8th place. So even if they kind of make a catastrophic losing streak, they should still probably make the playoffs. And even though they're second place in terms of points, they got the best best points percentage in the Pacific Division at a 650. So they don't go by points percentage anymore in the American Hockey League now that every team plays the same number of games. So it's all about absolute points. And if they continue that good point percentage streak of 650, they should be a top seed for the playoffs and go on a run here. Not just a first round exit. We might watch some Arizona hockey, playoff hockey. We might see some Arizona playoff hockey come April and May. And, with the addition of Gunther, maybe Kesselring goes down as well. Who knows, maybe Cooley as well, too. This could be a juggernaut. And, hopefully they win something. Wouldn't that be great? A championship in the state of Arizona. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, spread the word. And as always, thank you for your support.